We're talking tonight about a couple of things. We have some severe weather pushing through parts of the metro. We're also going to talk about why we're issuing another weather watch alert tomorrow for Friday. First things first, let's start with the radar. So, you know, these storms have really blossomed in the last hour and a half. There were warnings on these earlier. Right now there's not. They're still heavy storms, and they have frequent lightning, and they have rainfall rates well over an inch per hour. Look at all the lightning bolts here, right around the I-66 icon there. That's pretty impressive. Again, we have a new warning now for Fauquier, Rappahannock, and Warren until 9 o'clock. And then these storms that blew through earlier are now producing warnings along the east of the bay in the Delmarva. So this storm, it's going to head over toward Leesburg here, crossing over 50 eventually. And again, it has potential for some big winds and also frequent lightning. Now, this is not a severe storm, but still a hefty storm in parts of D.C. and then over toward Fairfax and over toward just north of Chantilly, so just north of 50 and 66. All right, so we'll zoom in a little more. This has some pretty good rains. As you come in 120 toward D.C., lighter rain out toward Silver Spring around East-West Highway. But again, that is nothing crazy at this hour in terms of severe in town. And we have a little bit of moderate, downpours over toward Upper Marlboro, but that's nothing like it was earlier again. So let's go ahead, and again, what we'll do is we'll talk about this storm out to the west, and we'll make sure that indeed that is the case for severe weather. And I think that storm out west really is going to cause some problems. Just looking at it, I'll back the radar up here. Just looking at it, it's got frequent lightning. It has wind probably up to 60 miles per hour for this storm. And again, this is what we're looking at, not these storms, and these are getting more intense, okay? But it's this storm out here, just north of Warrenton, that we're kind of concerned about. And I'll try to track this if I can. I'm going to try to track it. Well, maybe we won't track it. Okay. Well, this is the storm. It's going to move across I-66, eventually cross 50 and head toward Leesburg. There could be some flooding with this, too. They're not moving particularly fast. There's no real steering currents or mechanisms to get these storms out of here. It isn't like a cold front sweeping through. So I would also be concerned if you're driving out tonight late, come across a flooded road, don't try to cross it. You don't know how deep it is, and it's dark now. You don't know how, what's running in it. So please keep that in mind. So again, these we're going to watch and see if they become heavy. Right now they're just, or severe rather, right now they're just heavy over toward Reston, back into town. Lighter showers out toward FedEx, but this is getting pretty heavy out toward Georgetown and just south of McLean Gardens. Okay, so where do these go? Well, by 9 o'clock, there still could be a hefty storm or so down toward the Northern Neck and southern Maryland, and just some light showers for the remainder of the metro. Tropical, 76, D.C., 78 in Hagerstown. By 10 o'clock, still some leftover showers, albeit light. Maybe a little more punch to them as they go across the bay from Anne Arundel County into the Delmarva. And then by 11 o'clock, we just have clouds, a few breaks in the clouds, and temps in the 70s. Now, this will do a couple of things. If we get enough breaks in the clouds, those areas that had showers today, we're going to see some dense fog tomorrow. So that's another thing to worry about. By 7 a.m., low 70s. By 10 o'clock in the morning, mainly dry. It's already 80 degrees downtown. Then by 1 o'clock, it's already 91. Now, we were 95, I think, at National today, 97 at Dulles. Not quite as hot tomorrow temperature-wise, but still a little uncomfortable if you factor in the humidity. With the humidity, heat indices approach 100 tomorrow. But notice at 1 o'clock, we have showers out to the west of I-81. So this is why we're issuing the weather watch alert. It's not for heat, it is for showers and possibly some big thunderstorms. And it's a Friday after all, so you're going to probably have some plans outdoors that may have to be amended or perhaps even canceled. This is 5 o'clock. Big storm Baltimore, big storm south of Manassas. And the models have been trying to say, hey, you know what? Storms are possible everywhere, but the concentration will be Friday evening, I-66 in D.C. and Route 50 south. But that said, we'll go through this. 8 o'clock, there's still some big storms very close to D.C. and still a moderate downpour north. So You got rooftop plans for tomorrow. I hate to tell you this, but I think you may have to move them indoors. This is a pretty big storm, and that's at 8 o'clock at night. And even by 11 o'clock, everything pretty much gone, but just a couple of light showers possible. So unfortunately, the timing is such that it gets in early enough and stays late enough to pretty much ruin any kind of rooftop plans for tomorrow night. And that's one reason we're issuing the weather watch alert. In addition to the fact we could see severe weather and a wet commute home, and a lot of folks are in softball leagues and stuff. They may get canceled. All right, damage reports for today. Notice these icons are trees, bent trees. That means trees are down. We've had numerous reports of trees down in Warrenton and Rockville and out east of Martinsburg. Wind gusts pretty impressive at the National, 58 miles per hour. And you see that little lightning bolt. Unfortunately, we have to report that a lightning strike in Lafayette Park in D.C. injured 4. And we're going to have more on that tonight at 11. But it just kind of goes to show you, if you hear thunder, you have to go indoors and never take refuge from the rain under a tree. You don't want to escape the rain and go under a tree and put yourself at risk for lightning. Now, out to the west, here are the storms that produce the trees along I-81. They're all down, essentially east of I-81. This is just east of Martinsburg. We also had reports of a tree blocking BW Parkway southbound around Jessup. That was around 6 o'clock this evening. All right, so what are our threats for our weather watch alert on Friday? Well, storms are high, okay, no doubt about that. Hail low, but we'll keep it on the table. Tornadoes, we almost took off the table, but we did not. It's a slight chance, not really a tornadic environment. And then damaging winds, moderate. It's more of a damaging winds and heavy downpours environment. So those are the threats. So what are the impacts? Well, flooding is low, wind damage is low, power outage is low on the table. But outside plans, that's moderate to high, where you might have to change. Maybe you're inviting, folks over for a barbecue on Friday night. Probably can't do that. Again, rooftop plans, not so good either. Okay. Now, it's hot tomorrow, but we're not issuing the alert for heat. But that said, it's going to feel like it's 85 downtown at 9 a.m. It's going to feel like it's 98 at 3 p.m. downtown and 100 in Manassas. So we're not looking at dangerous heat tomorrow, but if you have to be outside at any length of time, you have to treat it as dangerous, because you need to get hydrated, get out of the sunshine, and, take a break. I mean, even at 9 o'clock, it still feels like it's 82 downtown, 70s in the burbs. Real tropical night again on Friday night. So, are the temperatures going to eventually do us any favors? Yes. After we get through the weekend, which heats up again, mid-90s on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, back in the upper 80s Wednesday, Thursday, then a nice stretch in the 80s. And that's about as good as it gets for August. That means that next Friday and Saturday and Sunday will be pleasantly warm during the day and comfortable at night. So here's the weekend forecast. Now, we've not issued alerts yet, but be advised, afternoon storms on Saturday and, afternoon storms on Sunday. The days will not be a washout, but with this kind of a summer pattern, you're better off doing stuff in the morning and early afternoon. All right, so let's review. lots going on. So we've got a weather watch alert tonight, and that's for storms until about 9 o'clock, maybe a little after 9 with that last storm to the west. And then we have another weather watch alert Friday, and that's for strong to severe storms, not heat related. And still hot Saturday with more storms. And we'll monitor that for a yellow weather alert. So here we go. We are looking at 91 on Friday with an alert, 90 on Saturday, then boom, we're back in the mid-90s on Sunday with some afternoon storms. Monday, hot, just an isolated storm. And really Sunday, just an isolated storm. I guess if I had to pick my day to do plans in the afternoon, Sunday might be better. And then storms mainly west on Tuesday. Big storms possible Wednesday. That's with a cold front, and that will drop us in the upper 80s with less humidity on Thursday. So that's our thinking right now. Any questions, Melissa, on Facebook? Sure. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll go over the timing in a second. I want to go back to radar for a minute. In fact, I'm going to just duck out here for 1 second. Hang on, just 1 second. Don't just bear with me here for a minute. And that storm to the west is these storms are hanging on, even though the sun is down. They are they're pretty impressive. I must say. Let me come back here for a second here. It's severe around Warrenton, crossing over 66 now. It's headed toward Leesburg, and eventually, you folks in upper Montgomery County, in the Poolesville area, will probably have to deal with this storm as well. And we still have the warning until 9 now, just for Fauquier County. So that, I guess, is some good news. Just bear with me here, because I want to do a couple of things here. No more questions? No. Okay. Yeah, tomorrow. I mean, basically tomorrow is just earlier is better for doing stuff. I mean, it's just better. You get to 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're gonna be kind of pushing the limits to just how long the storms hold off. I mean, it's possible you could get till 3, 4 o'clock, but I don't. I think you want to get stuff like cutting grass and that sort of thing done by noon, or 1 o'clock. Okay, so let's see here. Now, this is the storm we're watching. Now, remember, Chester issued a weather watch alert today and this evening for these storms. And then we are going to issue another one tomorrow for another round of storms. So this storm between Leesburg and Warrenton is pretty impressive. So now we have an extended warning. So this storm is getting stronger. Weather Service says, okay, now we're going to issue it for Fairfax and Fauquier, Loudoun, and also Prince William County till 9:30. So this storm is not weakening. This is the warning that was issued originally on the storm in Fauquier County. That goes until 9 o'clock, another 8 minutes or so, and then that's over with. So we're going to zoom in a little bit, and let's see if we can kind of take the radar and put it, a little south, a little west too. I guess I'm not able to do that. Okay, and track these storms. Look at this storm. That's popped up a little bit in the last 10 minutes in D.C. It's not severe, but pretty good storms going out New Hampshire Avenue, north of town. And yep, another lightning strike around Howard University. And again, we have some, sad news to report that 4 people were struck by lightning in Lafayette Square in D.C. earlier tonight. Okay, so where do they go? So we'll go through the storms tonight, and then we'll go through the storms tomorrow. 9 o'clock could be a heavy storm down toward Fredericksburg and maybe across the river. I wouldn't, get too fixated on where that storm is. It could also be in Charles County. But mostly you're noticing, okay, just light shades of green, nothing super heavy. Tropical, yes, temps in the 70s. By 10 o'clock, most of the storms now of any consequence across the bay. And then by 11:30, we're done. We just have a lot of clouds and tropical air mass and maybe some fog developing tomorrow morning. Check in with Chester about that. And also check in with Chester about the timing of these storms. It's going to change. When we issue a weather watch alert, it means also that it's a dynamic situation, and you need to kind of check back frequently because, tracking thunderstorms are micro scale. That's really much different than tracking like a winter storm. So it's 7 o'clock in the morning on Friday, dry, okay, low 70s. 80 degrees by 10 o'clock downtown. And then, 1 o'clock, a few sprinkles are popping, which is, why I said try to get the grass cut and stuff done by 1, because they're really starting to pop west of I-81 between Petersburg and Luray. And then, boom, here they come. 5 o'clock, storm in between Baltimore and D.C., and then bigger storms out toward Culpeper and down toward Fredericksburg. And then at 8 o'clock, it's pretty big storms. I mean, from essentially Gaithersburg, Clarksburg, through the downtown area, even into Prince George's County, across into Calvert County and Anne Arundel County. So if that were to come to pass, that would certainly be heavy and possibly severe, and that's 8 o'clock. With lighter activity all the way back to Leesburg, that's why most of us are going to see some kind of shower activity or storm activity on Friday night, which is why I think you're going to have to kind of cancel your plans for being outside after, the evening hours. 11 o'clock, heavy stuff gone, yes, but we still have some showers as far north as Gaithersburg and temperatures in the 70s. So that's what we're thinking and why we issued the alert. Here are the damage reports again across the board. We've got wind gusts to well, almost 60 miles per hour at National. There's a lightning strike at Lafayette Park. Trees down all over the place along I-81, especially east of Martinsburg. That was earlier today. So do I think we'll see a severe thunderstorm watch tomorrow? I would think so. We're kind of surprised they didn't issue one today. Yeah, we might see a severe thunderstorm watch tomorrow. It favors, I would say Leesburg south, Gaithersburg south, down especially into the Culpeper and Fredericksburg area. Okay, so weather watch alert. Why for tomorrow? Well, storms are high. These are the threats. Hail is low on the table. Tornadoes all but off the table. Damaging winds. That's a moderate threat as well. And our timing tomorrow, we think, is 1 p.m. to 11 p.m. Looks like that. Now, what are the impacts? Well, flooding is low, but we may have a wet commute home for some. Wind damage is low, power outage is low, but outside plans, that's moderate to high, and that's where I think we're trying to give you some heads up here. If you're trying to invite folks over for a cookout or do something downtown, a rooftop, that might have to be either ready to be abbreviated quickly or just go ahead and say we're going to cancel and move everything inside. So I hope that explains it a little bit. We'll be doing this before and after weather watch alerts to explain why we issued them and then to go back and say, hey, look what happened. This was damage. This wasn't damage. This was a good alert. This was a bad alert. So that's what we're thinking. And we're going to issue these when there is impactful weather coming, when there is a dynamic situation that's going to change a lot, and also, yes, of course, when there's life-threatening weather coming, you're going to see an alert. So we'll have an update tonight at 11 on the lightning strike for those 4 folks in Lafayette Park, and also I'll have a different model, so we'll update the timing of these storms tomorrow for you tonight at 11. But in the meantime, I'm meteorologist Topper Shutt.